You think you know, but sometimes the reason you feel bad isn't as deep as you think. Maybe what's ruining your mood isn't what you've been through or what you're thinking. Maybe it's just a day you didn't eat a bowl of yogurt. Yes, it sounds absurd, but what's even more absurd is that people haven't known this until now. When you learn the truth, you'll be surprised. What do we know? You think your brain belongs to you, that you're the one making decisions, that you're the one managing your emotions. But maybe what's really in control are the bacteria living in your gut. Because unlike what you think, not all your decisions come from consciousness. Sometimes what looks like a choice is an indescribable urge from within. Your unexplained anger, sudden lack of motivation, impatience, or bursts of joy. Maybe none of that is you, but the work of those invisible millions inside you. The desires you thought were silenced still speak in other parts of your body, and you mistake them for decisions. What keeps a person standing isn't always just the heart or the brain. Sometimes it's a handful of microscopic creatures. They're invisible. They make no sound, but they pull back the curtain on everything you hear and feel. Bacteria. Billions of them. They live in your gut, but they rent your mind. This might sound crazy to you, but modern science has been saying for years, the gut is the second brain. And that's not just a metaphor, it's real. Our gut contains almost as many nerve cells as the spinal cord. This network is called the enteric nervous system, and it communicates directly and bidirectionally with the brain. That means it's not just the brain that sends signals to the gut. The gut also sends signals to the brain. And what this system manages isn't just digestion. It regulates our mood because it directly influences the nervous system. A disrupted microbial balance in the gut can interrupt the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. This can result in depressive moods, anxiety, and lack of motivation. It also plays a role in regulating stress hormones. The release levels of hormones like cortisol can increase or decrease depending on gut health. That's why this system regulates our stress responses, affects our ability to focus, and may even play a foundational role in depression. In particular, the vagus nerve acts like a highway between the gut and the brain. And every signal traveling on this highway helps determine how you feel. Do you know what lies at the heart of this system? Microbiomes. Trillions of living organisms in your gut flora. Bacteria, fungi, viruses. Some helpful, some harmful, but all very powerful. Because they're not only central to digestion, they're also key players in serotonin production. Yes, you heard that right. 90% of serotonin, the so-called happiness hormone, is produced in the gut, which means the production center for this essential brain chemical is closely tied to your stomach. Serotonin doesn't only affect happiness, it also influences sleep patterns, appetite, learning ability, and memory. When the microbial balance in the gut is disturbed, this chemical production process breaks down too. That leads to sudden mood swings, anxiety attacks, and chronic unhappiness. That's why gut health is vital for psychological resilience. So if you ever feel down for no reason, the cause might not be your past. It's most likely your gut. The food you eat, the antibiotics you take, a week without sleep. All these disrupt microbiome balance. And when that balance is broken, it's not just the stomach that suffers. Your mind gets foggy too. The first to discover this noticed it in an experiment on mice. In a 2011 study in Japan, mice with disrupted gut flora became more anxious and stressed in behavior. When the gut microbiota of these mice was transplanted into healthy mice, their stress levels significantly dropped. This study was the first scientific evidence that the microbial balance of the gut affects not only digestion but also emotional state. In mice with disrupted flora, anxiety increased by 200%. When these same mice received healthy microbiota, their behavior returned to normal. So it's not just nutrition, even personality can change. So where does this lead us? Don't immediately blame yourself when you feel bad. It may not be a missing vitamin. It may not be a sabotaging thought. It may just be a gut bacterium. And that shouldn't scare you, because this system is fixable with fiber, yogurt, fermented foods. Because fiber is the favorite fuel of beneficial bacteria. Especially soluble fibers support the growth of good species and help them produce short-chain fatty acids. These acids strengthen the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and support the immune system. Fermented foods like yogurt and kefir are rich in probiotics. They provide beneficial bacteria directly. These bacteria do more than help digestion. They can also influence our mood and mental clarity. Homemade pickles and traditional fermented products are also natural sources that support the microbiome. Especially those without additives and naturally fermented ones help beneficial species survive and prevent the spread of harmful bacteria. Experts recommend consuming 25 to 35 grams of dietary fiber per day. That means 4 to 5 servings of vegetables and 2 to 3 servings of fruit. Additionally, at least 1 daily serving of probiotic-rich fermented food, like a bowl of yogurt, a glass of kefir, or some homemade pickles, helps support gut flora. Prebiotic foods like onions, garlic, bananas, and oats are also important to feed the microbiome. Avoiding refined sugar and processed foods is also crucial for maintaining this balance. All of this supports your microbiome. So how do you protect it? Above all, by avoiding unnecessary antibiotics. Because antibiotics kill not only harmful bacteria, but the good ones too. Excessive use of antibiotics can wreck the microbiome system. Another enemy of gut flora is stress, because stress can increase the permeability of the gut lining. That allows harmful substances into the bloodstream and activates the immune system. Sleep deprivation is another enemy that disrupts the microbiome. Good sleep supports the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Melatonin balance affects gut health and allows microbiomes to regenerate overnight. Because microbiomes regenerate at night, just like you do. So before snapping at someone, drink some water. Before getting mad at yourself, take a walk. But more importantly, fix your gut. Because sometimes the thing that changes your life isn't your therapist, it's a bowl of kefir. Gut bacteria play a vital role not only in mental health but also in fighting disease, because the gut flora lives in a region that houses about 70% of the immune system. These microorganisms stimulate, train, and activate the immune cells that fight off harmful pathogens. A healthy microbiome reduces inflammation, lowers the risk of autoimmune diseases, and strengthens the body's response to viral infections. Some studies have even shown that the gut may play a role in fighting cancer. Next-generation studies in immunotherapy show that the gut microbiome can influence the success rates of cancer treatments. A 2018 study published in Science showed that individuals with a rich and balanced gut flora responded better to immunotherapy. That's because some beneficial bacteria enhance the signals that help the immune system fight tumors more effectively. This shows that gut health is important not only for prevention, but also for recovery. In other words, gut health means overall immune health. Gut flora directly affects weight balance. In individuals with disrupted microbiomes, energy metabolism slows down, insulin resistance may increase, and fat storage tendencies rise. Additionally, some gut bacteria affect appetite-regulating hormones like ghrelin and leptin, disrupting the feeling of fullness. This increases the tendency to overeat and reduces the effectiveness of diets. A healthy microbiome can speed up fat burning, increase satiety, and make weight management easier. But here's a key point. Fermented foods like yogurt and kefir are not slimming foods per se. However, by feeding the microbiome, they indirectly support weight control. A healthy gut flora helps the body balance energy better. This increases satiety, reduces unnecessary cravings, and balances metabolism, making it easier to lose weight. Have you heard this before? Send this information to a friend who's struggling with stress, sadness, insomnia, or illness. Maybe their future lies in their belly. And you? Have you ever felt so bad you couldn't explain it? Write it in the comments. Maybe you'll find you're not alone. And don't stop. Because in the next video, we'll talk about how too much coffee affects your body. You won't want to miss it. Knowledge is power. Subscribe, follow, and keep the power in your hands. What do we know?